Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mecha University class for Pinaka. Here with me, we have Magical from a new team, which I don't know is officially announced, but formerly of EMP. Um, MDB from Team Worko is also going to join us here. Unfortunately, our other Pinaka is not able to join, so we're going to make do. But Magical and MDB, if you guys want to say a quick hello.
Hello, I'm Wash Pinaka player.
Fantastic. MDB, what do you have to say for yourself about Pinaka? Great, thank you. Wonderful.
I walked away
Uh,
from my desk.
All right, we're gonna get into a match here. We'll start showing off some of the basics here. Run through the basic kit and then start getting into the more advanced stuff. So if you guys can ready up, we'll get in and get started.
Board.
As we're loading in here, I do want to preface that there's a sentiment amongst a few of us that Pinaka is not necessarily in the state to compete with Moomy right now. There's other people that think she does. I think Magical, both you and I are in the kind of realm of Pinaka is not viable right now, but what are your immediate thoughts as we're loading in?
It's Pinaka require coordinated team. Like you need a lot of coordination for Pinaka to work perfectly with the team. Like if you just solo queue into Pinaka, you just gotta be suffering. You just enjoy suffering. That's what's gonna happen.
That said, Pinaka, I think Pinaka is a lot of fun to play when you are able to make it work. I think there's a lot to like about Pinaka. So let me show off the whole kit here. And Magical, if there's anything I'm kind of missing as I go, you let me know. First up here, kind of a new addition to the kit, or really a rework of an existing ability, is the Rapid Repair Grappler, right? So this used to be a melee heal, where you had to stand in melee, heal them, failing if you want to stand still for a second. So, right now, if you're within range, you can tether onto them, and then you can move a little bit further away as long as you stay looking at them, and then you can hit it again to dash to the person, right? It does a large amount of healing. It's extremely good on that front, but you have to make sure that you're keeping them pretty much within your line of sight. There's a level of it being broken, but yeah, you definitely can get a little bit messed up on faster people if they start dodging around you. It's hard to maintain on, but for ultra heavies, it's really good. And the tether dash, I don't find myself using it a whole lot in a way that's beneficial. Magical, I don't know if you have at all. I haven't found the dash to be that useful though.
No, it's not a lot of uses. Except for escaping, of course. Other than that, it's not very much.
I just find even with escaping, like, there doesn't come a lot of times where I find myself being able to use it effectively when I have played Pinaka. But yeah, so that's the Rapid Repair Grappler at its base there. What we have next is the Splitter. So MDB, if you could hold still for a second. The Splitter, also known lovingly as shotguns, right? That's your right-click ability. It'll just start firing out. It does pretty decent damage, nothing crazy. Also, MDB, you were supposed to be on try. That's okay. But it can do okay damage, right? The range on it's pretty low, and the other part about it too is it does have a fairly slow load time. It's not the best. Honestly, I find myself like out of ammo a lot more than having ammo. But you're still able to do solid damage. I think with Pinaka, usually you see like 200k, 300k direct damage matches, right? Magical.
Yeah, if there's not welcome smoke, yeah, of course, easily.
Yeah. And then what we have next is the repair drone. So you have 4 of these to start. They act very similar to Tricera drones or Illumi drones. So if one of you guys could damage Stellian on stars. Yeah, they'll linger around for a good amount of time and then just go and heal whoever they need to. Reload time, again, is pretty long, but when you're capping a point there, they're fairly useful for just loading up a ton of healing around the point. So, not a bad thing. Then we have what is affectionately known as the walls. Cover airdrop hit. This does a large amount of direct damage, provides a level of cover, and helps cap points pretty well. So if I was to put it on magical there, you can see it does over half its health bar. Like, it is a significant amount of health. If I put it on MTB, which, yeah, even in turreted up Triform with heals on him, that is a pretty good amount of damage. There's also a lot of use for capping points with it, which is generally pretty good. Magical, I knew you play pretty aggressive with your building of houses to cap points as well, right?
Yeah. Also, important mention that walls also go through complex shield.
Yeah, so straight through.
Yep, including welcome box as well.
It does reduce the damage a little bit, if you notice the damage with and without it, but it's only by a small amount.
I used to just use a bag. That's why it's reduced damage.
Yep. Alright. And then last up here, we have the quote-unquote emergency support drone, which is also known as Bubble, which Magical just kind of showed. You can put it on yourself if you kind of are not targeting anyone or you just quickly look down. I usually do that just to be safe if I need to target myself. And then if you want to heal someone else, they'll put a bubble on them. If that bubble is blown up, it used to be that the support drone would come back to you. Now it stays on the person and continues to heal until you want to pull it back. Of course, while you have it on someone, you can also right click to shoot the splitters from their point of view, right? And so one of the uses that I actually have noticed from some of the people who play Pinaka a bit more is they'll throw it on a Stellaris to heal them, and then just have the Stellaris chase people down and use the splitter as the Stellaris is chasing people down. And it actually makes for a pretty effective tool in that way.
Victory!
But keep that in mind, you do pull on Stellaris, you can actually break his stealth.
Yes. That is also another part to it, right? And when we get into the next map here, we'll start talking over
and salvation.
specifics to that. I want to get right into probably Eye of Misra, just to show off the capping power, but also some of the interrupt power. So let's go into Misra. Yeah. And so while we're loading in, we had a couple of questions come through. Who is the most highly important mech on the team you should be focused on healing?
Oh, definitely the highest amount of HP, like tanks, like Triceratops, Dagos. Those two are like most important priority target, as well as Vulcan. They got a lot of HP to stack, because due to how Pinaka is like best single target killer in the game.
Yeah.
It's like 10% average. You have all your healing kit out in the field.
Yeah, and we could show this in this map if we chunk down the Tricera and then just dump all the healing on it. We'll show you guys how fast you can heal a Tricera from 0 to 100.
A key will periodically be generated at one of 3 data terminals.
And so the question that came through is, what do we mean by it breaks the stealth? I thought the shield goes invisible too. Yes, but if you fire with it, it makes him visible. Isn't that true, Magical? Right?
Yeah, it makes the loss visible if you actually shoot it.
Yeah. So if you shoot it, it will make him visible. So if you shoot it, if you're coordinated well with your Stellaris and you get your shield on him and you're healing him, and then he goes on someone and he's already on stealth, and you start shooting it, that's fine. But if I go on him right now and start shooting while he's stealth,
nice visible.
oh,
There you go.
Yeah. So he's stealth right
invisible.
now, and then
Now it's
he
visible.
goes visible.
Yep.
So you have to be mindful of that. Unfortunately, NDB had a pick, which is fine. We will show the Triceratops stuff off later.
See
Why
Inferno
don't you
again.
talk, why don't you talk the matchup with Stellaris though, if you want to talk that a little bit.
Oh yeah, Stellaris is your nemesis. If you see one, you just hopefully your team can peel for you. You just gotta chase you down. You cannot run away from him.
Yeah.
The only thing you can peel is your own shotguns, which, well, to be honest, you're not gonna do much to him. If you literally break your lock on and stuff and stealth away. Like,
yeah,
let's
honestly,
Stellaris do a
push
full
the gun
combo on me.
yourself.
Yeah, do a full combo on me, Dalian.
Key generated at point B.
See that? It's full combo. It's gone. The bubble is gone, and now he can actually hit me direct damage. Now hit me a full combo. That's it.
Like, it's pretty significant, especially if like an Aquila Claw comes through or a Welcome Box gets on you. So it's definitely very punishing. One of the things about Pinaka too is her EN management is not the best, honestly. You have pretty poor EN management, and your only real tool to peel for yourself is to throw down a wall and then jump over it to the other side and kind of use it as cover. And kind of play ring around the rosy of your own wall, right?
Yep, it breaks lock on. It does kind of break lock on.
Yeah, that's your only peel, which sometimes when like melees are getting on you, it's hard to quickly drop a wall, get behind it, get to safety when they're down attacking you, piling on you, potentially a Keo clawing you. So it is a rough matchup to say the least.
Yeah, it's worse against all the melees too, because you cannot really run away from them. Your EN just cannot keep up.
Yeah. That said, this is something we talked about in the previous classes, and we'll keep talking in pretty much every class, is the kind of bunny hopping tech, right? Of doing a dash, side strafe, jump, and then quick dropping, right? This is kind of effective on Pinaka. It will help you live somewhat, but at the end of the day, if you really need to run, you're gonna have trouble. And honestly, sometimes with the way the game is and like lag and that kind of thing, and if you get staggered at all, it's hard to pull this off like all the time. I can usually chain together between 4 and 5 comfortably, and then it starts kind of getting a little hectic if I'm staying in a fight. But alright, while we're here on this map, this is, in my opinion, one of the better maps for Pinaka. This and probably the push the cart maps. One of the major reasons, of course, is your walls, right? You want to cap a point. Point's about to come up. You set up a house, and then you're kind of enclosed in here, and people have to get above you to really do damage, right?
Deliver to central launch site.
So there's a lot of value in that. That said, the house can kind of be a death trap too at the same time. You get in there and a Welkin gets in there and starts spitting on you. It's pretty dangerous. Yeah. Magical, what are your kind of thoughts on the house and capping points?
Just like playing Pinaka, I definitely need like someone to like draw the lock on away or somehow block the hole. You build the house correctly, you can literally have a Triceratops sitting on top of you drawing lock on. Nobody can actually attack you, or nobody can go into the death trap. But NDB is kinda I don't think he's here.
Yeah,
I'm
MTV
gonna
had to
show
run-
you
run to
yeah,
work.
but like
Okay.
so you build like this is a rectangle house, which I usually don't do because it takes 3 walls. What I do is do a triangle, like kind of like this. Like this is mostly enough, and then now you just have a Triceratops like just sitting like at the edge of right here. And just set a turret up here. Most striker cannot get in here, and only way to attack is like this tiny hole over here. But mostly Tricep would draw the lock on anyway, so.
And again, there are plenty of things to kind of deal with this at a certain level of like you always have Lumia AoE, which also kind of goes up against Welcome Box.
Yeah.
The walls can technically be quote unquote killed and taken down, but it takes a lot of damage, honestly.
It's like 300,000 HP.
Yeah, if you put down fresh walls before you're about to do something, there's almost zero chance of them actually destroying the walls before you get a cap, like stopping you that way. Like eventually, they'll start going down, but for the most part, they're gonna be up for as long as you want.
Yeah, and keep in mind that your walls also help to enemies. It's a double-edged sword.
There's definitely been times where I've had a knock on the enemy team and they've set up walls for themselves and I've gotten caps off of their walls, right? I think we just had an Iron Mizor match where I was able to circle around to Stego because their Pinaka put a wall right on a point. So I was just going around the wall while capping. So there's definitely that to a certain extent, right? Of if you go here and say I'm capping here, I can kind of rotate around here. They go from that side and I just rotate as I'm capping, right? So you can also use walls for that purpose instead of building a straight house. Or say you don't have the walls to build a full house, you can kind of do something like that too. But yeah, I think that's probably one of the largest things with Pinaka is just being mindful of capping points on a map like this. I don't know, as far as positioning on this map goes, I tend to play really safe with Pinaka these days, so I'm like always kind of lingering off to the sides near some kind of rocks or cover. And that goes for pretty much all 3 points here, A, B, and C. What are your thoughts on positioning, Magical? Do you do anything different?
Yeah, for the opening like this, there's no escaping for the flyers or the killer on the map or the non-combi or snipers in general. So the best bet is that you can find the nearest heavy, Stego or Tricera, or even Hurricane, even better. They can actually draw the aggro with you or take away the lock on. It actually increases your survivability much like better than just hiding out some random rocks.
While we have
that's my opinion
here,
anyways.
actually, why don't we show how fast Pinaka's healing is? I'm gonna get him down, yeah, right to there. So, with all the healing on, that is an extremely quick healing when you compare that to like Lumi or something. I mean, it's very significant. One of the downsides...
Yeah. One of the downsides is that you really had to focus on single target.
Yes.
And the drones, you cannot dictate what the healing target is for the drones. They just pick the closest target.
Yep.
And this is the best way to show the Pinaka utility. The drones actually have their own lock-on mechanics. So if it's a storm like this, we don't have lock-on. But if we do damage NTB right here, the drone will actually heal them without me being locked onto him. Unlike Lumini is.
Yeah. I mean, Lumi has her AoE heal, which is kind of meh. And it does a little bit in these storms, but yeah, these drones are a lot better than that as far as things go. And because you have the shotguns, you're able to do some damage in the storm, whereas Lumi is really just doing her damage AoE to stop points. Pinaka can do a little more actual damage. And of course, you can still shield yourself to keep yourself alive in the storm, but I wouldn't generally recommend grabbing the key as Pinaka on this. You can build. I usually will build the house for someone else and then say, all right, someone else cap while I'll build a house, you cap. And I do not want to get into that situation myself. So something else we didn't talk about with the walls was the fact that they stack. Stacking of them is sometimes situationally useful if they have a high ground on you, and you can purposely stack to kind of keep that high ground from you. It'll shoot down on you. That said, Sometimes it's just accidental, honestly. Sometimes the tracking on the walls is kind of meh, especially when you're building a house and trying to get them right next to each other. I find myself accidentally stacking, not that often, but often enough that it becomes frustrating at times.
Yeah, it's just one of the problems. And it's one of the problems with stacking, especially if you try targeting like the same targets, but somehow the wall drop nearby the targets, and then someone draw the lock on from you instead of actually want to hit the intended targets, which is one of the mechanics that I do hate about.
Yeah, like if you stand right near these walls right here, if I'm trying to drop a wall on him while he's standing right there, like there's a good chance half the time that that wall is just going to get built, right? I'm targeting him right now and that wall just goes up onto the wall next to him, right?
Yeah, that's a wasted
And
damage.
That's not uncommon. Yeah, see, it just happened again. So if you are like an enemy Tricera or something, if you just go near Pinaka's walls and stand next to him, if he tries to wall you, he might just throw that wall right on his own wall. It's not going to go onto you. So you can actually kind of use Pinaka's walls against them in that case. Especially if you are like an ultra heavy and they're putting a lot of pressure on you, you can just set up against their wall, and if they try to wall you again, they're more than likely just going to keep stacking up their own wall. So that is kind of a way to play around Pinaka these days, actually. Yeah, that's all my thoughts on this map. Magical, do you have any other thoughts on this map before we move on?
No, not really. I think we covered most of the points. Oh, well, other than crystals, but crystals, crystal does generate your complex shield faster than normal.
Yeah.
So if your bubble got like busted, you can go near around a crystal and just regenerate faster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
about
think
it.
that's true for every striker here too. That's definitely a universal thing.
Yeah.
Oh, MDB. See, this is why I was telling MDB I wasn't happy with him. He left the call, and when he did, it changed all my cards because I was tracking everyone's audio in the stream. Thank you, MDB, for that. That's okay. Yeah, no, it's
MVP.
it's always worth it to go on the crystals on every single striker. You should definitely be making sure to make use of them whenever you can.
Yeah, and reading the Discord chat, people said that there's one question that's probably important too. Is like, is a reliable way to sell bubble when it's during a chaotic fight? That's really easy. Just look up. Just look up to the sky. If there's no fly or anything above you, you can literally bubble yourself.
See, I tend to look down more often. I find it a little more reliable than looking up, but I think either way.
Yeah, either way, whichever works for you. Because for me, I just look up.
Yeah. I'm gonna go over to another map that is kind of pretty good for Pinaka, being Sinkhole. Really, it's about the objectives, right? Delian, do you want to play on to Welkin and show that matchup? Thank you.
Probably want to change to a killer here because we do need to show off the bubble ability, right?
Yes. Let's see if I can grab someone else here. No, that's fine. Yeah, Delian, why don't you just go on to Aquila? Actually, I know you probably don't know how to play Aquila really, but don't worry.
Doesn't matter. We just need a claw.
Yes. Thank you. And let's go. Alright. Another question that came in was, how do you make yourself harder to target so you don't die for your team? We kind of already talked about it, like the trick with using the walls and using that to line of sight. Playing around your ultra heavies, either your Tricera to taunt them off you, or Stego Smoke and the Stego Shield to kind of hide behind. Pinaka's pretty reliant on having ultra heavies on your team. I think if you don't have ultra heavies on your team and you're playing Pinaka, you are dead. Like, I don't think there's any saving you at that point.
Yeah, Pinaka works the best the more ultra heavy in your team. The heavier your team is, the better Pinaka is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm of the mind of like one of the only viable comps for Pinaka is like you throw a Hurricane, a Tricera, and a Stego together and just go super tanky. With a Welkin as well, right? I think that kind of has some teeth. One of the disadvantages of that comp is if you play it like in competitive, just one of those aspects being banned makes the whole team comp not really work. So I don't know how effective Pinaka's really going to be in competitive if those things get banned, but I think there's some teeth to it, mega ultra heavy comp. Alright, do you want to talk the matchup with Aquila here?
Yep. Now, Pinaka's best ability, the support drones, actually prevents your teammate being stagger, claw, or whatever immobilization. So basically, all forms of CC. Like if I have the bubbles on, Aquila try to claw me. It's resist. The claw doesn't do anything. Now, try to bust my shield off. Alright, now try to claw me again. It still resisted. Even my bubble is down, I can still resist a killer claw. Just that good. Like if you give this to your Welkin, your Welkin's literally invincible to all CC. But it doesn't prevent you from stagger once the bubble is down. Like this is like really good. That's the only advantage against other healers like Lumi.
Nodes B and C activated.
And then even though when you get stunned, you can use your drones on you and then remove the CC as well.
Yeah, and we had our Aquila class yesterday, and we were really talking about how broken the Aquila claw is these days. So having something like that is some level of tool to deal with it is definitely very helpful, and especially when Pinaka gets focused as much as she does these days. If you just put that shield on you, and at least you're able to keep the claw from, you know, keeping you stunned and keeping those melees from chaining you even harder than they already do. It's still going to be painful, but it'll be slightly less painful.
Yeah, and then for Solaris, the famous Solaris grapple that can untransform your mechs or strikers, whatever. Pinaka Bubble does prevent that. If you have a Tricera sitting on a card or whatever, and the Solaris trying to grapple you, grapple the Tricera, you can just give the Tricera Bubble. Now you just sit there. The Solaris is gonna be a feels bad moment. Because you cannot turret the Tricera, and Tricera just 3 houses into Solaris, he's dead. That's why Pinaka push the card is like really good right now.
Yeah, we'll show that too.
Yeah.
So, quickly talk this map. I have mixed feelings about Pinaka on this map. Again, you can build your walls. This map, you can't really build 2 walls of a house. You kind of have to do all 3. And obviously this map also has a lot of spots here where you can just get up high and look down. So it's not perfect. It definitely has use, and you will get some caps off of it. It's not like it's completely ineffective.
Yeah, now if I remember correctly... Yeah, if I remember correctly, I don't think Aquila can pierce through the wall. Try to shoot through the walls. Yeah, no, I think it's only fully charged shot from Narukami can.
Yeah. One of the downsides about Pinaka on this map and Poseidon 2, and especially with the meta how it is, I'm seeing a lot more of double side caps in games, and Lumi with kind of, because she actually had a buff to her mobility when she has wings up, is actually able to rotate between those side points pretty quickly when you have wings up. So you can go heal someone at B, the enemy team has A, and rotate over to C, whereas Pinaka, you're kind of like, if you're playing Pinaka, you're kind of playing off of that bunker comp, and you're holding A, and Pinaka's probably sitting at A and slightly supporting C. You're probably putting like your emergency support drone and doing damage off on a side point, but you're probably living in that center, whereas Lumi can really rotate a lot faster. Which, from my games, I feel like the 2 side points are being capped a lot more, but Magical, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, the only way you can support 2 front is that you just drop oil, just dump oil drone at A, and then you can support your C points or B points. Because this drone can stay here for quite a bit. You can just leave the area, and and it's gonna be. They won't disappear. You literally have like a 4 drone on there healing your friendlies while supporting at B or side points. So that's your only way to support 2 points at the same time.
That said, I'll show this on the stream right here. So say you're on C point, you're supporting that, and you need to go support your B side. If you want to get there quickly, this is your options. You start dashing, right? You go all the way to here, and if I'm dashing, I'm already out of energy and gassed, like a little bit past A, right? I don't even make it to B. So then your other option for traversing that whole distance is just kind of slow aerial boosting around the lower part, which is going to take a while. Like, that's not fast, especially because if the enemy's holding A, they probably have a lot of pressure there, so you're just coming all the way around nice and slow, like, and this is your safe way to get over to B.
Stabilizing.
And like, you can use the crystal to kind of gain energy as you're going, but you're probably getting to be gassed already, and a lot slower than pretty much anything else is going to rotate. So you really want to make sure, if you're playing Pinaka, that your team is holding down that A point and you're playing off of it more than anything. Yeah, that's all my thoughts on this map. Do you have any last thoughts on this map before we go, or against Tequila?
Nothing at the moment. Just for this map though, do not drop down there. That's a death trap. That's a death sentence for Pinaka.
It is.
It is. It takes so much energy to get up. And once you drop down there, you better have some teammate to cover you, because it's just dead. Just death to all the melees, all the flyers, all the snipers.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it before, and I'm going to reinforce it off of that. Pinaka's way to heal, like stay alive, is just to stay near ultra heavies. If you're going off the side and dropping down there by yourself, the enemy team's going to call that out and chase you down there and kill you. And you're not going to be able to do anything. And your ultra heavies are not going to drop down there after you. Like, you might have some support come to help you, but it's not going to be your ultra heavies going down there. So they'll have a really annoying time getting back up. Yeah, so just don't do it. Like I quickly showed there, going between the side points, you kind of might want to do it. But if you have any pressure on you, do not go down there. It's a horrible idea. You're much better off playing around one of these pillars, maybe getting up in the air, maybe walling yourself off of the pillars. But I end up doing a lot when I'm getting pressures. I'll just wall myself into a corner here, like if Stellaris is getting on me or something like that. Or even just one wall just to help break that lock and kind of live off of it. But yeah, don't try and run down there, because there's also not a lot of places to actually get line of sight down there. So not a great place. All right, we'll back out and go on to the next map here.
That's the same thing for the Poseidon Armory, the water map. Yeah, the water's bad. Do not go into the water.
The reduced movement speed in that water is so punishing for Pinaka. If a melee gets on you, like, even if you have EM, there's just no escape from them.
MVP.
Another question we got was, what
justice
should
and
be the average
salvation.
amount of heals you need to do per game? So
That's
at the end of the day,
really hard.
every game is
Yeah.
dependent on how long it goes, right? And also, if your team is stomping the enemy team and they're just not doing much damage back to you, it's not like you have that much healing to even be able to do. It doesn't track over healing. So if you have a bubble on someone that's full health, it's not going to track that healing that it's doing. So, but it's hard to, even for Lumi, it's hard to say like what is the correct amount of healing to do. There's probably, if you really went into it and analyzed a lot of data, you probably could do some percentage based of like damage taken versus healing done. And you know, I'm sure someone could do that. I haven't done it. Magical, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that though.
So the healing is really depending like your team comp, right? The heavier the mechs, you obviously gonna heal more. But the main thing about Pinaka is the damage taken. When you have a bubble on the enemy or your friendly striker, you add the damage to the bubble actually count towards your damage taken. So if you see a Pinaka really have a really high damage taken but low death, that means that Pinaka is doing God's work to protecting your own friendly.
Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna go on to Longman launch site. I'm gonna have Valiant hop on to Tricera for this and show off some of that interaction.
Ready to strike.
Yeah, I'm going Solaris.
Pilot proceeding on board.
Gonna show off making my life miserable.
No, I'm gonna show off this transformation thingy
Oh yeah.
on turret mode.
Yep.
And we're gonna have the Vulcan interaction with Pinaka.
Yes. We can show that up next too.
Injecting Coaxium particles. Pilot
Yeah, I mean,
stable.
I
Light bridge initiated.
outside of that one comp, do you think that there's any room for Pinaka, even just like with a singular Tricera on the Longman,
Speed up the payload.
on like a
Make sure
payload
you
type
reach
map?
the destination
Payload,
before
you have to. You need to have either Tricera or Hurricane, something to draw a log line.
Engage.
Yeah.
Because Pinaka does not have any good healing sustaining compared to Lumi. You have to rely on damage mitigation.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't even think.
Activate signal
So
console
we have our
for guide
three main
payload to
ultra heavies, right?
destination.
We have our Tricera, we have our Stego, we have our Hurricane. Any one of those alone, I honestly do not think is enough for Pinaka. I think
Yeah,
if
it's
you have
not.
any two
Definitely
of them, if you have any two of those three, I think you're okay. And if you have all three, you're in a really good spot.
Yeah, that's really good. Now, 1,000 is on each card here.
Yeah.
Normally, for any turret turret striker, you cannot push them off like normal means, like stagger and nothing. You cannot stop it. But for Solaris, you can push Tricep off the card like that.
Yep.
Unturret them forcefully. Now, if get the bubble. Now here, Pinaka bubble, I cannot push Tricep off. It just blocks it.
Subtask.
Do you want to also destroy the bubble really quickly, and we can show that?
Yeah, hold on. I gotta probably want to reset it. There you go.
Yeah.
Turret.
Yeah. So even with the bubble down again, same as before with a Keeler Claw,
Okay, do it again.
it will still. Yep.
Oh wait, no, it doesn't, because the first hit I already directed him. Yeah, okay. Once the bubble is down, I can turret from.
Okay. I was thinking it was the other way. It was like a Keeler Claw.
No, yeah.
But yeah. So granted, bubble's a little inconsistent. You'll have it up on occasion. I don't really play off of it these days of like recharging it because the heals are nice to have. So I don't usually purposely recharge it a whole lot. But that said, being able to stop Solaris from pushing off your cart is really important on those close matches. Because I've definitely had some very close push the cart matches that have just been determined off of getting someone pushed off the cart at the very end. You know, even back in last beta when we had the Invitational, Team Orca, we had our match against Extra Turn that we banned out Lumi. So I played Pinaka, and they also played Pinaka. And one of the things that happened throughout the match was like my Pinaka walls regularly pushed them off the cart before they could start advancing it. And actually happened right at the end of the game to help kind of close things out. So another thing that we can't quite fully demonstrate here as we're playing, but normally when you are targeting an enemy that is on a cart, right, your walls will lock onto that enemy. If you place that wall, it'll actually shoot down before them. So actually, if you want to stand on that cart, or stand on your own cart, and we could show this.
All right.
So he's standing on his cart. I put walls down. This wall is gonna miss him. Yep. And it'll just go onto his cart. So the damage won't come through. So if you're trying to get a Tricera on the cart and do damage to him with your walls, you can't actually do it quite like that. What you can do is a little bit cheeky. You place it before them. So you kind of just manually aim it at the front of the cart. And if they're in the middle, it'll still hit them. But then hitting them with any follow-up walls after that point is almost impossible. Because that wall will go down, and then any subsequent wall will just start stacking up. So there's a little bit of tech there, but it's not the best, to say the least. If you put a wall before the cart, you can see what ends up happening is it just pushes itself onto the cart. Doesn't really push them off either. So pushing
the best way to do this is do it like perpendicularly, like do it horizontally. That's the best way to deal with this situation.
Activates in 20 seconds.
So I need to reverse this card. Get off card. Get off, Jesse. Get off card.
Yeah, we can cap this point and then show that as well.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
the reversing is slower, right? So I think the reversing isn't quite the same. I just need to put down some more walls so they all get off that cart. Yeah, there's a little bit of tech there, but consistent walls onto the cart is kind of tough. Because even if you're placing them horizontal, like... Yeah.
No, wait, just wait. There you go.
Yeah. Yep.
That's almost guaranteed hit. Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, that's your one wall, and if you do that again, it's probably just going to land on top of that wall right there. Then
for that, you just have to manual aim it in front of them, like in front of the cart.
Yep.
Because when a wall do land on striker directly, mostly those are tricera or heavy that sit on it. The wall actually get destroyed, like disappear after landing. So you can just keep landing the wall over and over again.
Yeah, I think it's a little inconsistent. There's plenty of times where it'll have the damage go through and it'll still stay alive. Like the wall won't disappear. Especially if you predict it and you don't actually target the person in question. So I think it's a little inconsistent. I find myself like just ending up, and once you end up with like one wall on a cart or even two, like how it is right now, then after that point you're kind of just waiting for those walls to go away before you can reliably hit again. So one little mistake in that wall placement, and then you're kind of fucked for getting more walls onto any target there.
Yeah, and the most important note is that your wall stagger actually stop interaction, like objective interaction. So keep that in mind. Like, let's say if unturret striker is sitting on here, and if you get staggered by wall, it actually stops their progress. Same thing as all the other captures. Like the dismantles or key captures, they just stops. Like your staggered teammate, they just stop their progress.
Yep. So why don't we come over here, because we had a question come in chat here. Can a melee striker's attack go through Pinaka walls if they are super close to it? So if you come over here on the C point, I'm going to put walls up and you show that for the most part, no. Yeah, so I don't think any of Stellaris's go through.
No one. Nothing go through walls.
Okay. I forget, Welkin Flash does go through walls though, doesn't it?
No, not even Welkin.
We'll play onto Welkin.
Not even Welkin spin go through walls.
Yeah.
But if you do have a bubble, because bubble does make your box higher. Oh, never.
Defeat.
While we're going on to the next one here, yeah. So does the melee striker's weapons clip through the wall? No, it just doesn't. And then if you shield yourself and have full ammo, are there any strikers you can 1v1 or delay for a long time if you're defending a point? If you have a bubble on yourself, I think you can delay Stellaris a decent amount. It's not great. I wouldn't recommend it. But if you use walls, you have a full health bubble on yourself, you can do somewhat.
We show in the earlier, like during the lesson, that Stellaris can literally full combo you really fast.
Yeah.
And you had nothing to stop it besides your shotgun.
Yeah. Honestly, and most of the time, the people being sent to kind of go grab a point off to the side where you would possibly get into a 1v1 situation are like our Stellaris going for a stealth cap or Welkin going for a box cap. Neither of which I would want to go anywhere near. Awful idea. Do not do that.
Yeah,
Alright,
as
we're gonna go
Pinaka,
on
you
to-
should never be alone. You should always stick to your for heavies, preferably.
Yep. Do you want to go on to Pinaka and show off interaction with Welkin here?
Yeah, I want to go on Welkin. You can stay on Pinaka, so you can actually show.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Thalion, why don't you go on Stego so we can show off the healing onto a Stego as well? And also
proceeding on board.
kind of show that smoke interaction and how that can help you.
And the flash.
So going into Cape Blanc here, I actually used to really like Pinaka on Cape Blanc. I remember back all the way in August, I used to use walls to cap a ton of points here. These days, I would not recommend playing Pinaka on this map whatsoever. There's just no cover, nowhere to get to safety. This and the other new map, the other new observatory map, and especially with how they changed the points where you have to move.
Confirmed.
You have to move very quickly between points now because they spawn so far away.
Entering combat.
I'm really against Pinaka on this map these days. But do you have any thoughts
Dismantle Colrite extractor.
on that?
Yeah, anything that require to be mobile, just don't pick Pinaka, because it takes a long time for her to move between points.
Yeah.
Like Observatory, both Observatory, the good map, is like the prime example to like move around a lot. Unless your team is like going super ultra heavy and rotate with a team, then yeah, you can go ahead with it. But other than that, just not worth it. So Lumi can go around the map really fast compared to Pinaka. Now,
Here, why don't we
first,
get on
I
some
want to
background over here?
show you. Okay, yeah, let's go to more flat area. So I want to show you all why Welkin's actually your primary nemesis to Pinaka. So drop 2 repair drones. And I will damage Stego. I also give Stego the let me damage Stego. There you go. Give him the bubble. And then repair drone here.
Yep.
As
All
you can
blast
see,
off.
all your repair drones also got destroyed as well, along with your support
They're
drones.
all destroyed. You don't get any kind of cooldown reduction from it, any kind of return from them. They just get destroyed.
Yeah,
Your
it-
bowl of meter goes back to.
Yeah, this is the reason why Lumi is better, because the Welkin existence just make Pinaka's lives even it's a nightmare.
Colrite extractor
Yeah.
deployed.
Like,
I mean,
imagine
Welkin-
you give a bubble to Welkin, right? To a friendly Welkin, and the Welkin just box and just flash it off. Suddenly your friendly Welkin does have a bubble.
Yeah.
It just
And just to say too, like your drones have a much longer cooldown than Welkin's Flash does, even though it's a
Yeah.
much weaker ability than Welkin Flash. So even if you're putting your drones on cooldown, Welkin can consistently flash them off whenever he wants to. It's kind
Gone.
of
Yeah.
insane. Yeah. And even just then, like the drones weren't even active, and he flashed and killed the drone that was in the air. There was one that he missed there, but
Weapon.
even when they're not active, if you come over here, you see this drone here, you can flash that and just kill it, even when it's not active. Yeah, see? So even if Pinaka puts down the drones, like, it could just kill them whenever it wants. You could stack up 4 drones on a point, and before they even start doing any healing, they're gone. Because Welkin just can run next to them and flash them. So, it's kind of a really, really punishing matchup. And just to say, Magical, go ahead and like just box me up and try and kill me. And you'll see how awful this is. Like, I can kind of run around, shield, but I'm gonna gas myself, and right now I'm out of energy, right? Like, and each one just does so much. I do not want to take this fight, and as far as things go, like, my shotguns just don't do enough damage. Like, and yeah, Vulcan can just put up a shield, flash me, and there's not much you can do. It's kind of a crazy matchup to say the least. Why don't you damage Sego down to all the way down to 0 health though, and we'll show. And you might want to flash those drones off too.
There you go, prime example. Rocket's just so freaking broken. Oh, there you go.
So I'm full healing, and then you can just come in and flash them whenever you're ready, and that's all gone. Because it'll also stop your melee heals too, because you can't target. So if you have a Pinaka that's doing all of its healing on, it can negate all 3 healing sources whenever it wants, right? And obviously the bubble and the melee heal, you can kind of get those up more reliably, but those drones have such a long cooldown that it just sucks.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel good.
It takes multiple strikes just to kill a heavy with a freaking pocketed by Pinaka.
Yeah. So that's kind of that. Otherwise on this map, if you are playing Pinaka on this map, just play around your heavies. Even if you can't rotate as fast to a point, don't try to go out on your own. You can still use walls to facilitate caps. If you place them down before the point drops, if you place them down right where it's dropping, it will destroy the walls. But if you place them kind of around where it's dropping, it will drop in between the walls. So you do want to be careful about placing drones prior to it coming down. That's kind of all my thoughts on this map. I don't know if there's anything else you want to show before we head out.
Nothing really. It's like, and again, the map is way too open. Like I am Mizra, sniper and flyer can literally bowl you to death.
Not a whole
Just
lot.
have to play around your heavies.
Yep.
And rotate with your heavies as well, because yeah.
Yeah.
Most
If you are
important tips to
playing this-
Pinaka: do not be alone. Do not be alone. You don't want to be a loner as Pinaka.
It definitely sucks on a map like this where you have to rotate a lot, but there are going to be times where you just need to give up your point if you are playing this because your rotations just aren't going to be fast enough. So you're going to have to at times just say, all right, we might have the lead, but we're going to have to give up this point because we can't get into position early enough. And if you string yourself out, you're going to run into more problems than it's worth. So yeah, that is... the kind of last map there is TDM, right? Or the last 2 maps are the TDM game modes. Same thing, right? Don't play it unless you have ultra heavies with you. There's not a whole lot of advanced tech on any of those maps, in my opinion. Magical, any additional thoughts there?
Yeah, it's literally the same for every other maps. Just play with brown heavies.
MVP.
Yeah. It's a pretty simple game mode, and Pinaka doesn't have a lot to her that is necessarily high skill or really large tricks to them. There's a couple weird interactions that we kind of talked about, but outside of that, there's not really a whole lot. So we're getting to the end of the hour here. A couple last things. This is a little bit shorter of a class than most of the other ones, but again, Pinaka's a little bit simpler. Something that comes up pretty regularly is people asking if I'm going to duo queue, who's the best person to duo with? Magical, your thoughts? I think they're probably the same as mine.
Yeah, it's Tricera, there's no doubt.
Yeah. We've been talking about it. Making sure you have an ultra heavy near you and this kind of combo is too important. Welkin's always a good duo queue, but when you're playing a Pinaka, you need to make sure you have an ultra heavy on your team, and if you don't, you're just going to get free farmed. Even if you have a really good Welkin, they just can't keep you up.
Yeah, because like you literally by yourself, fending off by yourself, because Welkins already have so much to deal with. With your bubble, sure, you can survive a bit longer, but like you going into the front line as well, trying to healing a Welkin, but like when there's 5 striker on the Welkin, you will also pick one target to kill because you're healing or bubbling the Welkin or keep him alive. So he's drawing all the arrows towards you. And with the mobility problem, yeah, he probably gonna die.
Yeah, absolutely. Last thoughts. If I had to give this like Pinaka a rating on a tier list, probably like a C tier right now for me. I can see the idea behind an extremely ultra heavy comp, keeping it up, but yeah, outside of that, I just don't see the value. There's too much stuff that punishes it. It dies too easily. I think when you're in lower tier play or against teams that aren't as coordinated, say it could be higher tier players, but they're maybe not in voice or just not coordinating well. It can work decent just because they're not focusing you as hard as they should. But it can be extremely punishing if even just one team focuses you. We recently went against Strider's team who couldn't make it, and we did the TDM match versus them, and I think Strider ended up having like 7 deaths or something on Pinaka, and we were just focusing him every chance we have. And nowadays, anytime we see Pinaka on the team, the call out is focus Pinaka, like just play off of that. So, Magical, if you had to give a rating, what's yours these days?
It depends. I think like for me, as I play Pinaka, I will rate it like a tier B. Like if it's actually ultra heavy, yeah, I would definitely prefer Pinaka than Numi.
Yeah.
I actually jump up to like A tier with ultra heavies.
Yeah. See, my thing is like I'm thinking in terms of that competitive situation these days, and I think if you run into a situation where Pricera, Stego, either of them are banned, like Pinaka immediately drops down to C tier, and maybe B tier for me, but yeah, either one of those is banned out and its effectiveness just goes down so far if you're not playing really, really ultra heavy.
Yeah, and like compared to Numi, she doesn't have a lot of utility. Like she can just heal somebody like far away from map, especially for snipers. Like yeah, chase the sniper down, actually give them a bubble to repair. But then again, like something like Narukami, she doesn't have no HP, so your repair value is actually going down compared to like giving a bubble to like a Welkin or another heavy.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
and they absolutely not wasting a freaking station drone just for them to like sit there, right? They gotta move, so that drone's wasted too. So yeah.
All right. I think that's all I have to say about Pinaka. Any last thoughts before we close out? Anything last you want to show?
No, it's not really anything. I mean, more like, please buff Pinaka. Please buff Pinaka.
We said it before, and I think they've made changes in the right direction, right? They buffed her damage from walls. They buffed the melee heal. So they're working in the right direction, but it needs a little more oomph to really get there, in my opinion. So it's close. It's close. It just needs a little bit extra. I don't know what that little bit extra is.
Yeah, the extra will be the tether, or like longer tether, and like make it so that it's not easily breakable. Like right now, you try to tether somebody, and then when he jumps, or that tether just breaks instantly. It's just miserable. Now you just look at him for 2 seconds, like, why did you jump? Now you wait for 2 seconds, tether you again, for him to jump again to break it.
Yeah, I definitely think if they change tether so that you have to lock on the person to apply it, but after that you can just have them fly around you wherever. And maybe if it goes long enough without you staring at them, maybe a couple seconds, then it goes off. But as it is right now, it's just hard to make use of. It's kind of awkward.
Yeah, and then they nerf to the bubble HP, which is I don't know why would they do that, because right now they're just really encouraging to just leave the support drone on somebody. Yeah, that's all your most healing as well. So I was suggesting just revert that nerf.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then she also needs a way to peel for herself. Just right now she just dies when any melee just chase after her.
Yeah, but I think reworking the tether kind of ties into that because if you're able to tether away,
Yeah,
because
longer
tether
range.
does get
Yeah.
out of stagger, right? So we didn't really talk about it or show it, but yes, tether does break stagger when you go to dash. So that said, if a melee's focusing you and you're getting staggered, there's a good chance your tether is breaking anyways because your lock on onto that person is probably breaking as well. Because chances are, if you're trying to dodge the melee that's attacking you, you're not going to be able to be focused on whoever you have the tether on.
Yeah, and like give some quality like updates such as holding your support drone, actually give it to yourself instead of just your teammate. Because so many times you try to save yourself, but you give it to somebody else. That's awkward moment.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, thank you, Magical, for joining me on this. I think this will help out the few Pinaka mains we have left, and hopefully we get some buffs and encourages buffs from everyone. And thank you to the people in the audience that stopped in and listened. I know Pinaka is not quite as popular as the other ones we've done so far, but I still appreciate you. So, great. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye bye.